Hey you guys, good morning. It is Hump Day Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. It is 6:43 a.m. and I'm about to get ready to set up for work. Happy head jacked up, you guys. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hey. Ho. Hey. Ho. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing well today. I truly do. I'm a little loose, but I'm comfortable. Hope you guys slept well. I was up basically all night. I was so tired. I came back from donating. Almost passed out. I went and did got a little bit of groceries. Like I said, just some bread, turkey, cheese to make, sandwiches. No chips. No. Whipped cream for my coffee. I got a pulled pork and a pork roast. That was it. That was absolutely it. And a bag of cookies. That's it. Ooh, somebody's car dragging. I came home. Yo, I was talking to my daughter on the way home. By the time I got home, I was feeling so tired and so sick. There was no place to park out front. I had to drive around a couple of times around the corner, through the alley. How about the second time going through the alley, a big, fat, gray raccoon ran right in front of my car. Ran right in front of my car. Right behind the building. He ran in front of the car. Once he ran, in front past me, he ran under the gate, the house right next door to me. He ran under their gate. He slid under their gate. And as I'm driving by, I can see him, walking in their backyard. And all I'm thinking is, okay, right now there's nowhere to park. And when I get out this car and go to the front door, there's a possibility that this same raccoon could be in the yard. And so I was a little nervous about it. On top of not feeling well. And I had all the little groceries that I had. Oh, and 2 sodas. All in one bag piled up and thrown over my shoulder. And see, that was doing too much, but Jeremiah wasn't picking up when I called, which means he was up here asleep, which is so annoying. I get it. He got to go to work, right? But I saw his car, so I was like, and I'm going to tell him that, remind him that today. I know he was out of it. He was asleep. But if I ring the bell, I have the key. If I'm ringing the bell, there's a reason. Right? Especially if I'm ring, 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 That's common sense. She obviously needs help. Right? And so I'm ringing the bell. It's like, Lord, he ain't gonna hear me. I didn't want to use my key because oftentimes it's happening more than before. It takes a while to pull the key back out the door once I open the door. Sometimes it slides right on back out and I go about my business. But last week, a couple of times, I stood there for the longest after opening the door, just trying to get my key out the door so I can go on up the stairs. And so that's what I was concerned about. I didn't want to be out there fumbling with that door, with them bags, with that bag full of stuff on my shoulder, not feeling well, and then possibly run across a raccoon. So he buzzed the door, But when he buzzed the door, he went and laid right back down. He cracked the front door open. He went and laid right back down. I'm calling like, I need you to come down. I need you to come to the steps. He was just out of it. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. I was so frustrated by that. I really was. When I had to sit on the steps for a moment. When I came in the house, the door was open. So I thought, well, maybe he went out the back door looking for me. But why would he go out the back door looking for me if I rang the front and he opened the front? So I was like, where is he? That boy was in there knocked out. I was so mad. I don't know why. I called his phone because for some reason I thought maybe he left out. And accidentally left the front door open, or the wind blew it open. So when I called, I heard his phone ring, and he was like, oh. He was asleep. He was knocked out. I was like, oh, it's so frustrating. I was so frustrated. I really was. I was sitting on the floor until I got myself together. I was cussing. I was just pissed off. I really was. It's like, I'll be freaking doggone. Like, when I'm needing you are of no use. And I can't get too mad because I get it. You sleep. You know, sometimes you be in that sleep and just be you dead. And that's how he is when he sleeps sometimes. Actually, most of the time. And it's annoying unless he up out and about doing whatever. I was like, oh my God. And I think when I left, he wasn't here. So, anyway, I was just so frustrated. It took me a minute. I just put, stuff in the one meat in the freezer, everything else in the refrigerator, the bread, the chips, I just threw it in the chair. I put the sodas in the refrigerator. I just had to lay down. I felt like I was going to pass out. And so I did lay down for a while, actually. And then I was like, okay, let me eat something. So I went ahead and fixed myself a sandwich. Oh, it's hot. I went ahead and fixed myself a sandwich. Let the windows up to get some air. And I just laid there for a minute. As I felt better, I ate a little bit. As I felt better, I ate a little bit. And then I would, after that, I just nodded off here and there, cat napped. While I was watching, trying to finish that picture, which I ended up binge watching, which was another reason why I was up. A couple of times I had to rewind because I did fall asleep. But again, it's like once I got in a good, rest, I was up. And that's so annoying when you're tired and can't go to sleep. And when you do fall asleep, it's just for a moment. So that's what I kept doing. And the worst thing was, and I'm not complaining, I'm just sharing. The worst thing was my feet kept cramping up on me. Now, when I went to donate, I noticed a young lady, she put the needle in above in a different spot than where they normally do. And the blood just squirted out all over her, over me. I had been drinking the heck out of water. So that was good. The blood was flowing. And I got in and out pretty fast. And at the end, they tighten it. They wrap it and they put a gauze. They tighten it so that the bleeding can stop, right? But I think she tightened it kind of tight, which I didn't realize when I got home and took the thing off. Look. See that? There's like a scar there. And I hope they won't tell me I can't donate because of that. I mean, I do bruise easily. And I'm assuming that's what it's from. I'm just assuming that's what it's from because that's not where she put the needle. So I'm assuming it's because it was wrapped too tight and I'm constantly doing this, and that's why it's like a line. So hopefully, that'll be fine. What else? That's it. That's it. I was just really, really frustrated because all night I was up. Mainly, my feet just would not, y'all, they just kept, So I got up, I was drinking water. I ran some hot bath water, soaked in the hot tub, which I couldn't soak too long because it was too hot. My head started itching, I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, I got out of there, I had to get out. And then, like I said, my feet just wouldn't stop cramping on me. And then the crazy cat, every time I had to get up and I kept walking around to try to get my feet to stop cramping, and then they would cramp even more because I was trying not to trip over him, because he would wait for you to get up. He'd be doing this, and then he'd jut out and jump and grab your feet, grab your leg. He intentionally bumps into you, and by me trying not to step on him, I'm tensing up, and therefore my feet was cramping up even more. I was just, oh my God, y'all, oh my God. I filled up a bucket full of hot water, and I kept putting my feet in there, and it was too hot, and then I had to wait. Finally, it was about 3-something this morning. The third time I set my foot in a bucket of hot water, that it finally started to, help. My foot from cramping, its muscles started to relax a bit. And that was around the same time that I finished cooking. About 10:44 is when I put the food in the oven. So what I did was, the meat that I took out that I was going to cook today, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to want to do anything. So what I did was, since I was up, I went ahead and fried it on the top. I washed all the dishes. I fried the meat on the top, and then I put it in the oven. When I looked at the clock, it was 10:44. When I got through with the meat, and then that made that living room hot too, that oven. So when I got through cooking the meat, I think it was 1-2 in the morning type of thing, because I had it on very low. And so when that was done, I was like, okay, I can make the rice tomorrow. But I was like, nope, I'm not going to want to do nothing tomorrow. So I went ahead, put the rice on, and then I was like, okay, what's going to go with it? So then I ended up, I don't have any sugar. I meant to get some and forgot. I didn't want to make another stop to the dollar store to get a little thing of sugar. I decided I didn't wash and cut up a carrot to put in the meat while it was cooking, or potatoes or anything, because I only had one potato in there. I did chop up some onion. So what I did was, I decided to do like a glazed, honey glazed carrots, just without the sugar. But carrots are sweet as well. They have a natural sweetness to them, especially when you cook them. So what I did was I boiled them a little bit, and then I fried them, just simmered in some cinnamon and honey. I figured the honey can take the place of the sugar, and it was actually pretty tasty. I heated up, I microwaved the string beans. I seasoned them, put butter in them, put them in the microwave. That was it. I was going to do corn, but I was like, that's too much, too many sides. That's it, that's all. Done deal. And that was about 3 this morning when all that was done. I made myself a plate to taste it, make sure it was all right, make sure it was seasoned well, and it was. So while I ate my plate, I set my feet in that bucket of hot water, and they started to, like I said, my feet started to relax a bit. The cramps started to fade, and I was able to, once I got through eating, I was actually able to finally lay down a bit. But now it's hard to go to sleep again. I kept using my massager. It wasn't working yesterday. It was not working at all yesterday. Give me a moment, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and shut this window. I'll be right back, y'all. Alright. Okay. 7 o'clock. I was looking for my socks. I don't know what I did with my socks. I don't know what I did with my socks. I was looking for a particular pair that I wanted to wear. But I'll go ahead and put these white ones on. I gotta start getting me some more socks. I used to have all kinds of socks y'all to walk around the house in. Socks, all different kind of colors and different cute little designs. I remember when I was younger, actually when I was in high school, I think it was, I used to always try to match my socks with whatever color top I had on. Sometimes if I had a red top on and black pants, I would have on one red sock, one black sock type of thing. And I'm still like that to this day. The first time I went to donate, the young lady was like, "Oh, I love your glasses." I was like, "Thank you." It was my Harry Potter glasses, and they matched the shirt I had on. And she said, I said, "Yeah, I try to match." She says, "I was gonna say that they look like they're the same color as your." I said, "Yeah, I usually try to match the glasses with whatever I have on." But yeah, it's 7:01, you guys. So I think I will start logging in, setting up about 7:15. And getting myself prepared here. Try to get as many enrollments in as I can. I will not be doing VTO. There's no reason to. And as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to do it tomorrow either. And tomorrow would be a reason because I'm going to donate. Hopefully donate. I don't know what they're going to say about my arm. I'm hoping that it'll clear up, you know, hoping it'll clear up by the time I go back. I don't know if I need to put anything cold, or I don't know if I need to put a cold compress, a hot compress. Everybody say something different every time. I think I had a bruise on my arm once before. And someone was saying, "Oh, put, something cold, a cold ice pack on it, da-da-da-da." And then later somebody said, "Oh, put a warm ice pack." I was like, "Warm? I thought you said cold." "No, at this stage, you're going to use something warm because of the blood vessel." Something I was told. I don't even remember because it didn't register. It didn't make sense to me. So I think because it didn't make sense, I completely shut down. Because I feel like sometimes people think they telling you the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes when it don't sound like it makes sense, my mind check out. I completely check out, and I know that is not cool, because you could be missing some really good information in doing that, but it definitely happens. My mind just be like, "Okay, if you say so." Anyway, guys, yeah, Chapo in there on the back of the couch with his little nerve-wracking self. I tell you, when I did get kind of comfortable and I'm laying there, let me tell y'all this. When I watched the picture, right, it was 20 episodes. I binged watched from where I left off. I think I left off episode 10. So I found myself forwarding through some of them because I was so tired, but I wanted to finish it, and it had started to drag. Now, I do like the fact that they took the time it started off with the kids, and I like the fact that they took the time to take you back and let you know why they were the way they were, to a degree, and they gave us the backstory of the parents, which was great. The only thing is, I think they drug it too long. It's okay to give a backstory, and the backstory was for the main three characters, the main three students. Fine, but I think they just drug it a little too long. They didn't have to do the backstory as long as they did, because mind you, they did a backstory for each family member, for each, for the kids, the three kids. Put it that way, each family. Okay. how they met. Da 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 da. It was just, to me, they just did too much. The third kid, they didn't even show you how the mother and father met like they did the other two, but it gave you an idea of why he was the way he was and da da da. They drug it on. I appreciated it, but they did drag it a bit. I did not care for the ending, although as the credits was going up, I was like, let me forward through and see, because I just had a feeling this is going to be another one. And sure enough, toward the end, after the credits was done going up on the screen, they showed another scene of another director coming in, give it all we got, da 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 da. So it's going to be a part 2, and I had a feeling that it would be a season 2. I'm just hoping that it don't drag on unnecessarily. It was good. It was really good. I like the fight scenes, It looked like a lot of them, I don't know. And see, that's the part that they, that's why I felt like it was going to be a part 2, a season 2, because they never really explained why or how the parents had the powers that they had, right? What happened, it's obviously genetic. But what caused this? Were their parents at some point experimented on and boom, 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 or were the parents born that way? Like, what happened? Why did they have these particular powers? The first main character, his mom had was very smart, very quick. She was good with guns. She could shoot. She was good, and she could hear. She was pretty fast, but she can hear from. It don't matter from how far she focused. She can hear any and everything. She can hear through doors and walls, and she's very, very smart. Right now. His dad, and they all worked for the government in black ops, okay? The dad could fly. He was, quick. He could fly. He was fast. He was somewhat strong. But he didn't have the ability to hear anything like that far like mom did, okay? Now, so this boy inherited. Not only could he fly like his dad, but he also inherited his mom. He could hear like her. He was fast like his dad. So he inherited both of what they had. The second main character, which was the girl, her dad, mom was just regular human. She didn't have any powers. She was just a beautiful person, a beautiful soul. The dad was indestructible. He could not die. His body would heal immediately. Sometimes, depending on the wound or the damage, it would heal, but maybe a little bit slower. But yeah, he could not. He was indestructible. Like, he would be stabbed, cut, shot, rolled over, whatever. Legs broke. He snapped them back together. Now, he did feel the pain. I think as time went on, he began to get used to some of the pain. Like, it wasn't as, but he was pretty indestructible. He did, I don't know what type of bullet they used, but at the end, that eye, he got shot in the eye or something. It never really healed properly. In the very end, he ended up with a eye thing patch on. So she inherited her dad's strength. Dad was strong, and he, on top of not being able to die or get hurt, he was strong. And so she inherited that as well. yeah, she didn't get hurt. So when in the car accident when mom died, she didn't. And mom, at first she didn't know if her mom, when she was remembering back, she just remembered her mom staring at her. She couldn't figure out if her mom was crying, if you know what. And the boy said, I think maybe she was smiling because she knew you were okay. And that's exactly what happened, because it was at that moment that mom realized her daughter was like her dad, and she knew that she would be okay. So she smiled before, you know, the car blew up. You know, she was already hanging upside down in the accident. The car threw the little girl out. Well, the little girl was thrown out of the car. But she should have died. But because, you know, of her condition, she didn't. And it never dawned on the father, the strong one, that she was like that. It wasn't until he ran into the third kid's father. Now, the third kid, his father was a little slow. They called him an idiot. He was crazy good, y'all. He was slow. He kind of stuttered. He was a little, you know, what they call an idiot. He was married. His wife loved him. She would calm him down a lot. He was hella strong, fast. He didn't. He wasn't like the other dude where he couldn't get hurt, regenerate. But he was so strong and so fast. And he ended up getting arrested because he knocked the hell out somebody, because the dude that he hit was picking with his wife, and he happened to come home, you know, with what was going on, and he took action. Well, they looked at the cops as always looked at it as if he attacked the man because he's a little simple-minded. And she was like, that's not what happened. And she told her husband, please just put your hands up, don't fight them, just don't fight them, it would be worse. So he went ahead and he did what she said. He ended up going to jail. Now, when they put him in behind bars, when he went to jail, the baby was a baby, his son. When he got out of the jail, he was maybe about 6. So they had to kind of relearn themselves, because he's the one that would take the baby to school every day, his son, to daycare every day, and, you know, pick him up and everything, because mom was working. He was working too, but he wanted to make sure his son was safe at all times. And so he was able to do that behind bars. Now, he could have broken out if he wanted to, but he didn't. He complied. So anyway, they get out, and how the other guy met him was because, now again, this guy's black ops, the first one, the girl's father that's strong, can't be hurt. He was called in to handle him because there was some kind of protest going on, and him and his son was sitting at home waiting on mom to come home, and it started raining and everything. He was like, she's not here yet. He said, I'm going to go get mom. He's like, daddy will be back, you know. And the little boy was like, you promise? He said, daddy always keep his promise. I promise. So he went, and then he seen his wife being put on this bus, being, you know, mishandled, and he just went off, and he just started slanging them, fighting them, and they couldn't do nothing with him. He jumped, and he pulled the things off the bars off the bus that she was loaded on, and she kept telling him, no, stop, think about our son, just go back with him, stop. And so he finally did, but he jumped up in the sky real high, and they started chasing him. He went down to a sewer to hide, but that's when they called the other dude, they called him Monster, but they also called this guy a monster. And so he goes down there to get him, not knowing, you know, everything's going on. And dude kept talking about his son. So they fighting each other because they both strong. Like, I mean, it was stuff was busting. It was crazy. One little boy, the neighbor of the mom that was, you know, arrested, of his wife, son was stuck in the sewer. And so they came together to help him. He was on the other side holding on. And so they together, bam, kept hitting into the wall, bust, where they were able to help him. So they came together as far as that's concerned. So dude ended up letting him go. And so the government, which was so crooked, government was, where is he? And he was like, he said, I sent you down there to get him. You go down there and help some kid. And the guy was like, he needed help. And he said, so what did you do with the guy? He said, he went home. He had to go home to his son. So the government went to the man's house because they was intent on grabbing this man. They're going to use him in the government, like the government do. Find out something they want to take over, and that's what their plan was. That's what they were trying to do. But when they could see that he was simple, they was like, ain't nothing we can do with him. He's stupid. What we gonna do with him, So they was like, whatever, leave him or something. They were gonna, I don't know if they were gonna try to arrest him. I don't know what the case was gonna be, but the man was hugging his son when they walked out. Next thing you know, all the guards flew out the room like they were punched. They all flew out the room and hit the wall, and so they ran back. They was like, what the heck is going on? And when the government guy got there and the girl's dad, they were like, what's going on? Because they were going to try to have to contain him. And at this point, and the guard was like, no, it wasn't the dad, it was the little boy. He said the little boy did this to all these guards, and the little boy was like, I hate them, Daddy, I hate them. He was trying to get at him, and the father was holding on to him. No, it's all right. And that's when the government man, he had this big smile on his face. He said, so it's hereditary? Oh my God. He looked at the dude. He said, it's hereditary. And the dude was looking at his son, because he's like, oh my God, that means my daughter. That's probably why she survived. He just now thinking of this, standing there at that moment when the government guy looked at him, wheel spinning. It just dawned on him that that's why my daughter survived. She's like me. And he immediately, at that moment, when he left, he went and got his daughter. He left everything that they could trace him. Everything. He left everything behind. He only grabbed her and pictures of his wife and hid it. And was on the run ever since. Because he was like, I will not allow them to use my daughter like they're using me. I'm just not going to do it. So that was good. It was really good. The idea of it, the storyline was good. I just think that they drug it out too much and wasted a lot of time with the parents' backstory. Like, it was just too long. They could have chopped that up a little bit more. But it was good. The fight scene at the end, I think there were certain parts of it to me just was like, this could be better. But at the same time, I had to understand these are kids that don't have to fight. They never, you know what I'm saying? The school was open so that they could be trained. They had no idea that was what was going on. The one boy, the main character, the one with the most power, I guess, from the mom and dad, with the one that fly, he never had to fight. So it was tough for them to, which I like that part of it. They didn't make it, like, oh, all of a sudden they can do this. No, they lost some, they won some. It was a struggle. And so I like that part of it. Even the one that's indestructible, they didn't make it some of the stuff easy for him. Like, there was one point he was fighting all these gangsters. I mean, it was like damn near hundreds of them. He can't fight all the men himself. He was getting stabbed, cut, all of that. They had this one guy had this axe, and while dude was on his back, he went whoop. The axe got caught in his skin, and he was dragging him and pulling his meat and skin. I was like, oh. So I like the fact that they didn't make it like, oh, he's Superman. You know what I'm saying? No, he can die. Well, for a moment anyway, because depending on how bad the injuries are, but then he comes right back, like he cannot be harmed or whatever. So it was good. It'll be interesting to see, what they do with season 2. The guy that fought the girl's dad in the beginning, not in the beginning, but in the truck, the one that they had hired to execute a lot of them, and he was taking them out. He ended up coming back, and I had a feeling. I was like, because I was thinking, dude beat him up really bad and then set the truck on fire. But my thing was, you never, I don't know, it's like, I feel like when you got somebody that can't be harmed, that's going to keep coming back, he never dismembered him, so to make it hard to come back, he never did that. So I think that at some point, he just can't, he body started to regenerate. Anyway, it was very interesting. And what's also interesting is how they healed quickly, but it was one scene where he was shot, where it was kind of staged, where the one that was flying, he went to shoot his wife before she became his wife, but he was doing that so that they would think that they weren't together, so that she could be let go. And so when he shot at her, he knew that his friend was going to save her. And he did. He put his arm out and he took the bullet in the arm. Now, this is the one that can regenerate. But for some reason, that bullet, it didn't pop out. It was just there. And it may have been because he didn't take it out. But I noticed that it was still there. And I was like, why is there not healing, for him to be able to regenerate? Why that particular bullet, everything else quickly? Like, he was sliced and it just right back up. Sometimes he was sliced to the point where it would just gush blood and run and drip. But at some point, it closed right back up. He was talking with this one dude, and this dude was like, maybe I need to take your liver or something. He said, oh, my liver, huh? He took a knife and slit his own stomach. He said, now where's my liver? Wide open. It showed like meat, everything hanging out. Closed right back up. So why the bullet didn't? Why that shot? Why didn't it close back up? Same thing with his daughter. The dude went to shoot the boy that flies, and she covered him, and the bullet hit her in the arm, and everything else healed, but that didn't heal, right? When she was fighting all them girls and stuff, and it was sliced and cutting and all of that, she healed right away, but she didn't heal from that. So I thought that part was strange. But anyway, it was definitely interesting. So guys, it's 7:22. I'm gonna go ahead and log in, turn these lights off, and do what I gotta do. And pray that this day, work part of the day, goes by fast. And the last 4 hours I'll be on the phones. Hopefully they won't be too bad. Open season and everything, open enrollment. So hopefully it won't be too bad. But anyway, guys, remember to say your prayers. Treat people the way you would expect to be treated. Better yet, the way God would. With love, kindness, grace, respect, patience, understanding. And when you say your prayers, don't just say your prayers for your family, friends, and loved ones, but for all our brothers and sisters in Christ. Because y'all know I say it all the time, we all need prayers, including me. So, yeah. I'm going to try to get these videos up. I say that all the time. And then something else, pops up and I end up not doing it. But I'm really going to try to get it up, get them out for you guys. I don't have a whole lot of followers anyway, so that may be part of the reason why I'm not as in a rush. I do want to stay consistent irregardless. I definitely want to stay consistent irregardless. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to get everything out for you guys. It's a lot too. I'm hoping this will even continue to record. But anyway, guys, enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.